There's been a lot of leaks recently surrounding the next entry into the Call of Duty franchise, and up until this week essentially, the game had been generally known as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, and it was all but confirmed that it would be a fourth Modern Warfare game, and people were just calling it Modern Warfare 4. We now know that probably isn't true. So there's a guy on Twitter who works for Kotaku, and his name is Jason, and I think his surname is Schreier. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'll try to link his Twitter in the description or something like that, but I think it's Jason Schreier. He leaks things about games quite often, and usually whenever he leaks things about games, he's correct. I can't remember a time where he's not got it right. So I think that's just because he's got a lot of sources and all that sort of thing, but he generally doesn't get anything wrong. He confirmed this week that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 isn't called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which a lot of people have pointed out that it could be quite confusing because the first Call of Duty game has the number 4 in it, the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare game has the number 4 in its title because it's called Call of Duty 4, COD 4. Generally, whenever people are talking about the first Modern Warfare game, they don't call it Modern Warfare 1, they call it COD 4. I think they probably took that into consideration whenever they were naming this game Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because generally when people are talking about the Modern Warfare series, they say COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and now they're going to have Modern Warfare, but it's a bit strange. But I've got something to compare it to, and I'm going to get on to why I think it is just called Modern Warfare in a second. But there's a series of games for PlayStation called God of War, and they're in a similar situation with their naming scheme. So the first God of War game was called God of War, the second one was called God of War 2, and the third one was called God of War 3. The most recent God of War game, which is the fourth main installment in the franchise, is called God of War. I think it's a similar naming scheme to the God of War franchise, because their fourth game is called God of War, and their first game is called God of War, but the main difference here is that God of War for the PS4 is a soft reboot of the series, but they've done it in such a way that the first 3 God of War games aren't just forgotten, because in very simplified terms, the first God of War game is about Greek mythology, so it's about Greek gods, and Kratos is like the God of War basically, and he's from Greece, and it's about Greek mythology. And then in the most recent God of War game, he's in Norse mythology, so there's Thor and Odin and all that sort of stuff. So all the characters are different in the most recent God of War game, and it's generally just a soft reboot of the series, only it takes place after God of War 3. So it is a soft reboot because none of the characters are the same other than Kratos, but at the same time, it's a continuation of the series. I think this is what they're trying to do with Modern Warfare 4, I guess, because it's slightly different though. So I think the naming scheme is for the same reason. Modern Warfare this year is going to be a soft reboot of the series, but they're not just going to forget all the other entries in the series. So the way I see it is Infinity Ward did say 3 years ago, before Infinite Warfare got released, that they wanted to make Infinite Warfare a series, like Modern Warfare. They wanted to make a trilogy, a good series, Infinite Warfare 1, 2 and 3. That made sense. However, obviously the game wasn't well received, it was given a lot of hate, and nowadays people look back on it and kind of like, oh yeah, it was a good game. But at the time it was met with a lot of hate, so Infinity Ward back in 2016 probably thought, yeah, it's not a good idea to make another Infinite Warfare game yet, is it? So the way I see it is, if they had it made, they only had a few options for games they could make, and I outlined this in my most recent Call of Duty video, which was a few months ago, and I got a few things wrong, because I said the games will be guaranteed to come out or be announced in April, and it's now May, it's nearly June, and they haven't announced the game yet. So I got that a bit wrong, but I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But generally, they only had a few options, and I've said this already, but I'll say it again. Their options were Modern Warfare 4 or another Modern Warfare game, a new franchise, Infinite Warfare 2 or Ghost 2. So Infinite Warfare 2 and Ghost 2, out the window, no chance, due to the fact that both games were met with a lot of criticism. I mean, sure, a lot of people nowadays look back and are like, yeah, Ghost was a good game or whatever. At the time it was hated, and it just didn't do well. Infinite Warfare is a similar situation, however, Infinity Ward have kind of outlined that they do want to make it into the franchise at some stage. So there's a difference between Infinite Warfare and Ghosts in that situation. However, if they did make it now, it wouldn't do well because people still kind of have a hate for the game. Their only real option was to make another Modern Warfare game, because if they made another sub-franchise, it'd be the same situation as Infinite Warfare and Ghosts, where they make another franchise. It's risky because people may not like it, and they probably aren't going to make it into another trilogy because they want to make Infinite Warfare into a trilogy. So their only real option is to make a Modern Warfare game. Modern Warfare 4 wasn't really going to be a thing, because how are they going to make that game with the actual story which made sense? Because Modern Warfare 3 kind of ended the trilogy pretty nicely. There was nowhere else that the story could really go without creating another war, and everything was kind of wrapped up nicely in MW3. So what I think they've done is, in MWR, Modern Warfare Remastered, made by Raven, there's a part in the campaign which you play the same part in the campaign in MW1, and in MW1 you snipe a guy's arm off. So the main bad guy in Modern Warfare 1, you snipe the bad guy's arm off in one of the scenes, and I'll try to get the clip on screen or whatever, but you basically snipe his arm off. He then gets into a car and drives away. So that's basically what happens. In MW3, you then see the exact same scene from a different perspective, because in MW1 you play as Soup, and in MW3 you play as Yuri, who wasn't a thing until MW3. But at some stage, in MW3, Soup dies, Price gets annoyed and then starts questioning Yuri about stuff, and it's revealed that Yuri knew Makarov and all this stuff, and you start seeing a few scenes from MW1 and 2 from Yuri's perspective. So, for example, you see the guy's arm getting sniped off from Yuri's perspective, you see No Russian from Yuri's perspective, where he basically is left for dead in a parking lot before they go and basically kill everyone in the airport. But the important thing here is that you see the sniping of the guy's arm happen from Yuri's perspective, and Yuri is in a car with Makarov, and it's the same car that your man gets in after his arm gets sniped off. Obviously, whenever CoD 4 was made, Yuri and Makarov weren't even a thing, so they hadn't even thought of it probably, but then obviously they were kind of inserted into the franchise in MW3. In MWR, Yuri and Makarov are visible in that car in that exact same sniping scene whenever Soup snipes your man's arm off. So you can actually see Yuri and Makarov in that car, and you get an achievement for killing Makarov. So if you snipe the guy's arm off and then quickly kill Makarov straight after, you get an achievement which is something like Paradox or something, where obviously MW2 and 3 can't really happen if Makarov is dead. So that's what that achievement's for, but it doesn't affect the game at all. The game continues going, exact same campaign as MW1, and nothing changes. What I think Modern Warfare is this year, what I think this game is a soft reboot of the franchise, but it's MW2, because I think it's going to be Modern Warfare 2, but if Makarov was dead. Because essentially, from what I remember, Shepard was working for Makarov, and the entire war was because of Makarov. Therefore, if Makarov's dead, what happens? So I think it's one of these situations where Infinity Ward have kind of went, right, we can't make Infinite Warfare 2, because that'll do very badly. And Activision probably said to them, you can't do that yet. We can't really make another franchise, because that is met with the same risk as making a Ghost 2 or Infinite Warfare 2, because people aren't going to just instantly be like, yes, I want that game. And Modern Warfare 4 wouldn't really make sense, because there would be nowhere for the story to go after Modern Warfare 3. So the only logical way they can make another Modern Warfare game is by either starting another trilogy of games in that same universe, or by doing a what if scenario of, in MWR you can kill Makarov in one of the scenes, so what if Makarov is just dead? So I think that's what they've done. I could be completely wrong, and in 6 to 7 months it could be revealed, or not even 6 to 7 months, in a month it could be revealed that it is actually just a sequel to MW3, and they're weird, and they just called it Modern Warfare, and that it's got nothing to do with MWR. But personally, I think that is quite a viable situation, that they've essentially just decided, right, none of our games recently have done well, we need some game to make the Call of Duty franchise okay, and to buy us some time to make it Infinite Warfare 2, or something along those lines. So that's just, what if Makarov was dead? So I think that's what they've decided to do. But I could be completely wrong, like I said, but yeah. So I'll try to have the Modern Warfare seen on screen, I might have to buy Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 1, but we'll see. I mean, I said in the last video and I'll say it again, whenever the next Call of Duty is actually revealed, I'll make a video on it. That was meant to be in April, but they didn't reveal the game yet, so I also think they haven't revealed the game yet because, well, we know at this stage the next Call of Duty game, as in after Infinity Words, is a bit trash. Like, we know it's basically going to be Black Ops 5, and that Raven was the main developer on it, Sledgehammer was helping them, and they couldn't agree, so Treyarch are making it now. So I think they're announcing the game late, so is maybe the announcement or maybe the game gets released a bit later than November, and therefore it buys the game a couple months or something for the Black Ops 5 or whatever. I don't know. Basically, I think this year's Call of Duty is probably not going to be called Modern Warfare, but at the moment it's called Modern Warfare, and it's a soft reboot of the Modern Warfare franchise. It's essentially Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but it is kind of just a what if scenario where, what if Makarov was dead? You know, how would Modern Warfare 2 look if Makarov died in Modern Warfare 1? So it's probably going to have a lot of the similar weapons from Modern Warfare 2, so maybe it'll have the intervention, maybe it'll have, you know, a lot of the similar MW2 weapons, but a completely different campaign, and a lot of maps will be different as well, I'd say. But that's that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I'm not completely wrong in the next month whenever the game gets actually officially announced. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribing, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.
Target down. I think you blew up. Shock and blood loss will take care of the rest. Shut that onto us. Take out that helicopter. He'll buy us some time.